Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel GMB SHOW. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Kate Garraway is hoping for a fresh start as she looks toward 2025. It was a heartbreaking start to the year for the Good Morning Britain presenter, 57, who announced her husband's death. In January, former political lobbyist Derek Draper sadly died at the age of 56 after he was left suffering from the long-term effects of COVID. It has since been reported Kate is looking for work but will still be a regular on ITV's Good Morning Britain. Having spent the past 12 months adjusting to life with her two children, Darcy, 18, and Billy, 15, the presenter is hoping to make 2025 her best year yet. A source told Bella magazine 2024 has been the worst year of her life, so Kate's hell-bent on pulling herself out of the hole to lift herself back up. She's told friends she's determined to make 2025 a great year in Derek's memory. Kate has a lot to be hopeful for and is expected to have various TV projects lined up, including a potential role alongside her pal Ben Shepherd on This Morning. The source added, Kate is going to focus on getting more work next year. She has big financial worries, so she's chatting to ITV about new opportunities and will be going up for other big shows. Kate wants to work on This Morning with Ben Shepherd, and they're going to be reviewing the show soon, so she's got her sights set on that. In addition, she is keen to continue being a part of Life Stories, with filming set to take place in January, according to insiders. She is also gearing up to produce some more documentaries and will continue her work on GMB and Smooth Radio. The GMB star, although not fully healed, is refusing to give in, the source added. Kate has faced significant financial challenges in recent years. The care costs for Derek were more than her ITV salary, and she ended up in debt of between $500,000 and $800,000. She also withdrew money from her pension to pay for his medical bills. While acknowledging her job as a presenter on GMB was well paid, Kate said the $16,000 a month care costs were more than her ITV salary. Speaking in her most recent documentary, Kate Garraway, Derek's Story, she explained, Derek's care costs more than my salary from ITV, and that is before you pay for a mortgage, before you pay any household bills, before you pay for anything for the kids. So we are at a crunch point. I am in debt. I can't earn enough money to cover my debt because I am managing Derek's care, and I can't even use the money I do have to support Derek's recovery because it's going on the basics all the time. Kate Garraway had always been the steady, smiling presence that viewers of Good Morning Britain relied on to start their days. Through breaking news, uplifting human interest stories, and the inevitable awkward on-air giggles, she had remained composed and genuine. But as she quietly confided to a close friend recently, the past year had taken more from her than she ever thought possible. It's been the worst year of my life, Kate admitted, her voice wavering. I've spent so much time holding it together for everyone else that somewhere along the line I lost sight of myself. After months of heartbreak, exhaustion, and personal challenges, the familiar GMB studio that once felt like home became strangely suffocating. Early mornings, relentless schedules, and the constant pressure to smile on cue were no longer enough to keep her afloat. Kate realized she needed to step back, not to escape, but to rediscover herself. So when whispers began that she was looking for work beyond Good Morning Britain, fans were stunned. But for Kate, this wasn't about abandoning television. It was about survival, renewal, and daring to dream again. She had been quietly exploring opportunities, writing projects, documentaries, even the possibility of launching a podcast where she could talk openly about resilience, grief, and finding hope in unexpected places. She told ITV colleagues, "There's more I want to say than what fits into a 2-minute segment between weather and politics." Friends close to her described her mood as a mix of trepidation and excitement. One said, for the first time in ages, she's allowing herself to think about what makes her happy rather than just what's expected of her. She's looking for something new that can use her voice in a more personal way.
Behind the scenes, Kate had been journaling every night, pouring her heart onto pages that were filled with raw honesty and fragile hope. She began to realize that her words had power, not just for her own healing, but for others who might be going through their own darkest seasons. It sparked an idea. What if her next chapter wasn't just about presenting the news, but about telling real stories that touched lives? The decision wasn't easy. Leaving GMB, even partially, meant stepping away from a routine that had anchored her for decades. It meant risking the comfort of familiarity for the unknown, but Kate knew she couldn't ignore the pull of something new any longer. As she quietly tested the waters, meeting with producers, publishers, and even theater creatives, she felt a flicker of something she hadn't felt in years: hope. Not the kind plastered on for cameras, but the kind that made her eyes light up with possibility. Kate Garraway was not giving up. She was simply beginning again. And for a woman who had endured the worst year imaginable, that in itself was a triumph. Her future might not look like early alarms and studio lights anymore. Instead, it might look like healing, storytelling, and a renewed sense of purpose. Whatever path she chose next, one thing was clear. Kate was ready to write a new chapter, this time on her own terms.